Okay, and now we're gonna have that 15-second delay that I warned you about. Facebook is so famous for. We're streaming over, we're gonna chat, and we are gonna talk all things PDX, which I just learned is slang, the cool kid slang for the Portland airport. All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody. I'm so excited to be chatting today with my friend and fellow Blaze volunteer, Margaret Pinard, and her friend, Elizabeth Mitchell. These two ladies co-founded Jolabokaflod. Wondering what that is? Me too. So it is a literary festival based in the Pacific Northwest in uber cool Portland, Oregon, celebrating that section of the world, celebrating Portland, celebrating the Pacific Northwest, celebrating indies, celebrating authors. Ladies, welcome. Tell us more about this awesome festival.
Yay! Thank you so much, Sarah, for having us.
Yay!
Yeah, Jolabokaflod PDX. So we basically imported a tradition from Iceland, and I'll just give a quick look to the logo that Elizabeth designed. This is our super cool, yes, t-shirts from Redbubble, but this is our logo to highlight that we are featuring indie authors from the Pacific Northwest and looking to bring their books to the world. The Jolabokaflod concept is about finding a moment of cozy in the middle of winter and exchanging books with your friends to sort of go home with and treasure and just like find a moment of relaxation and hope in that very long, dismal season.
I can't really add much more than that. I mean, it was pretty perfect. She brought the idea to me in a lovely little conversation, telling me all about this amazing tradition that I'd never heard of. And I told her that, of course, we have to do that. Obviously, let's do that. And so it happened, and it took a lot of work, but we couldn't see a world where we didn't do a really awesome event together, because we get along really well.
And this is our third year doing it. So we've had to rejigger it obviously for COVID, but this is year 3. So, we're technically pros at this now, right?
Oh yeah. An online version is super easy. It's just slide right into it.
Exactly. Like the rest of the world, you've had to migrate onto Zoom. Now, Margaret, you're a historical fiction author. Elizabeth, you're a suspense author. Her latest work is Sweethearts. Ooh. Margaret, you specialize in Scottish Canadian immigration stories, again, in the historical fiction realm. You're both organizing and appearing on panels. Tell us about each of those. Margaret, kick us off.
Sure. The panel that I have chosen to do is a little informed by my Blaze experience. So basically, before I'd had the experience of being an organizer, doing festivals, doing marketing for myself as an indie author. And then with the Blaze, I got to see like behind the curtain about how the publishing industry does it. So it was like, okay, literary festivals have these assumptions, but doing your own, there's a whole different set of assumptions and sort of starting points for authors. And so I found someone who is on BookTube like I am, which is like YouTube for book nerds. And we're going to be discussing how those two worlds could meet, maybe have a time for synergies, or, could help each other rather than just be completely separate and not know that they exist, So I'm very excited for that.
And you're focusing in on setting, is that right?
Yes, I'm on another panel that is talking about the crafting of setting in worlds. So historical setting is one whole bag of tricks, but I'll be talking with Molly Ringel and Alan Batchelder, who are fantasy novelists, and they're going to be talking about crafting setting for fantasy and how, as people in the real world, do we mirror the world we want? Is it an idealized world, or do we make it realistic and then just put everything in there to show how terrible our world is in comparison? Like, there's a lot of interesting ideas that Molly brought up that I'm super excited to talk about too.
Right. I mean, should there be dragons or not? I don't know.
Always yes.
Yes. I don't know anything about fantasy. Well, actually, I know a little bit. So when I was writing my first book, I researched sort of the ways to maximize your efficiency, maximize your productivity. And I read that it is really great to work with a critique partner who is not in your genre, who has no preconceived notions. Yeah. So I thought, who is the opposite of me And it is a dude who doesn't do yoga, who doesn't read memoir, and who is in the fantasy world. So that is who I worked with, my first critique partner. And then my second critique partner, I wanted someone who did have that knowledge, who did have that sort of context and was informed in that way. So I had fresh eyes and I had experienced eyes. And I think it's really interesting. So through that, I was like, I got to get myself up to speed. So I started reading fantasy. There's a few of them on the shelf behind me. And I was like, this is a world that DiVello does not know. I'm new here. So that was
Have you seen any crossovers? Have you seen any like mystery fantasy, like mystery wizard, anything like that?
No, but now I'm gonna go write that.
Oh my God, they're so good. Oh yeah, you have to check them out. I'll get you a list.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Now, Elizabeth, over to you. You write suspense. You are on the crime panel along with Bob Dugoni, and tell us all about that.
So basically, I'm obsessed with research to the point where sometimes it stalls me out and kind of I end up researching and I'm like, oh right, I'm a writer. I should, get to that. But Bob Dugoni, I've seen him speak and I have read his work, and he's kind of seems like he would probably have done a lot of research. So I reached out to him and Kim Taylor Blakemore, who is a historical mystery writer. And we're going to do a panel on research, which is before, during, and after COVID. Now, I know everybody's very COVID. Okay, we've even heard that phrase. But this is because before, we could go and sit in classrooms with police officers. We could do ride-alongs, which I missed out on because I'm pretty sure they're never going to be a thing. Trips were canceled that cost so much money that people were going to other countries. And so we're resorting to just the internet now? No, of course we aren't. That's not enough. So I thought that it would be really interesting to discuss what multiple genres, because, they write different genres in the crime fiction world than me, how we're all handling this, how we're handling this new world, but also before, like, what did it look like for a mystery historical writer? Because I know how she researches, Margaret, that is, but when you add mystery, does that change it? I don't know. I'm just so interested. And then we're going to kind of hypothesize a little about what it's going to look like in the future and how we want to handle it. Because even if everything went back to normal, that doesn't mean that we're going to be comfortable going back to normal ourselves. So I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, totally. Especially with historical, it's such a time commitment. First you have to build the time machine. That could take years. Then you have to get in it. Then you have to transport yourself back. Then you have to hang out there for a while. Then you got to come all the way back to present day. It's a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, research. I am also a research nerd, and I could get sucked down that delicious rabbit hole for 7 to 10 years, and then only come up for air and realize, oh crap, I better get this book done, which is, oh wait, where I am now. But yeah, no, research is such a fascinating topic, and it's so true, because now we can't go, get on that plane or whatever. And actually, I just hosted Bob Dugoni when his book came out this fall, and he actually went and lived in Russia, 20 years ago for that book. Not for that book, but 20 years before that book, he went over there, he lived. He traveled all around. He lived in various cities. He met many Russians, took the train, took the local, city subway. He really immersed himself in that Russian culture. And I think all of that research, comes through and comes out in his latest work, which I'm sure he'll talk all about, but, is about that sort of delicious, Russian intelligence angle, and who can you trust and who you can't. And what if he hadn't been able to go to Russia? What if he'd never been to Russia? It'll be really interesting. So that's exciting. Besides the panels that you're on, what panels are you most excited to sit in on and listen?
Great question.
I love to stump them.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, most of them. So I'll let her go first while I choose between my top three.
I know, this is what I didn't write for it. Well, the first one that comes up in my head is diversity in YA and how to choose topics that are going to be appropriate for that audience. So Well, you've got more time, so think again. We've got a local publisher called Not a Pipe Publishing based on the Magritte painting. And he's great. He's got a panel of, I think, 5 different authors who are going to be chipping in to talk about how they've made decisions about age range and stuff about sex and violence. And I mean, that's something that mystery writers probably have to think of as well, but they're all adult novels. So it's going to be like, what is appropriate for children? So it's sort of like a whole social argument put into the writing world. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one is definitely, that one's going to be really, really exciting. I think my second favorite.
Ooh, if you want a second, I can plug where people can look these up. So we have 14 panels going on December 19th and 20th, and you can see them all at the Jolabokaflod PDX.com website. We've got the schedule set up, and they're all set up so you can add them right to your calendar. They're going to be panels on YouTube, so you can also like put them on your to watch list so you don't forget.
Ooh, okay, cool. I'm going to actually go ahead and drop that right into the comments. I've just been monitoring the comments over here. Anissa, hey Anissa, good to see you over here. She's saying Margaret.
Good to see me.
And she's giving us lots of hearts up, and I recognize that. I recognize Anissa from our Mighty Mystery Tuesdays. Margaret and I are partners on that. So it's great to see you over here. And I should have said this earlier. If anyone has any questions for these 2 authors about suspense, about historical fiction, about Jolabokaflod, about the Pacific Northwest, their writing process, whatever's hanging out in your brain, go ahead and put those right in the comment section, and I will get them over to these ladies. I am simultaneously monitoring this screen and chatting. So yeah, just let us know if you have any questions, and they would be delighted to answer them for you. Meanwhile, I'm going to drop the link for the festival right in here, so that everyone, right in the comments, so everyone can log on, check it out, pick out your sessions while we're chatting. Okay, I'm dropping it in right now.
Yes. Oh yeah, like definitely check out our Redbubble as well. The links are all over. Every link you want is either on our website or on social media from our website. So check that out. But I have chosen my favorite.
Okay. Go.
My second favorite is, let's see. It's called Paradoxes of Success, Money and Meaning in Creative Careers.
Ooh.
I think that one's going to be pretty spectacular.
Tell us what that is.
So basically it's Lucy Bellwood, and she wants to talk about what we're worth. And I think I'm just so excited to hear what she has to say about that, because honestly, that's so hard in a creative venue, because you want to often underplay it, or like it's your baby. So you're like, it's priceless. That's not a thing though. No. Priceless. You'd like to say priceless is a thing, but it's not. So I think it's going to be a really good one. And she's written and she draws and she's funny. And that's just a fun fact about her, because she's a wonderful person, it seems. But I think it's going to be just really engaging. And she's got a great social media presence. If you guys get a chance to check her out, her social media is bubbly and she has so much fun things to say that I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a very engaging panel.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think, these are topics that are taboo. Money, assigning a value and a worth to your work. I mean, how do we do that as creative people? And, how do we do that? And then how do we talk about that? And people don't want to talk about money, and we need to. So that sounds fabulous and much needed. Margaret, that's her happy money talk wiggle.
It's not happy, but it's necessary. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, you need to get over that hump and like get comfortable talking about what you value and be open with people. Otherwise, it's just gonna be always this like place of I don't know if I'm good enough, and you don't want to stay there. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, totally. And actually, right before we went live, I was chatting with these ladies about the possibility of creating a question of the year. And we were tossing around ideas, and I believe they're going to be crowdsourcing it. So if you have a question that you think all the panel should answer, or some of the panel should answer, send it to them on social media and say, I propose this question. So some of the things I suggested were what's your most embarrassing moment as an author? Something that just makes you want to cringe and die, curl up in a ball and be swallowed by the earth.
Don't choose that one.
We're going to choose that. Everyone vote for that one. What's your rose and your thorn, your best and worst moments of 2020? By the way, if anyone has any thoughts on this, if you want to share your rose and thorn with us, drop it in the comments. We're brainstorming about what would be juicy to answer. So if you have any thoughts on that, let us know. We are, these ladies are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they do it all. So Margaret, what do you want people to walk away from this festival? So I just want to say, everybody, this kicks off on Friday, December 18th. Let's talk dates. Friday, December 18th, they are kicking off with giveaways. Who doesn't love a giveaway? I do. So they are having giveaways. Show us some giveaways, Margaret. They're giving away merch. They are giving away
festive
books.
just for the giveaway discussion.
Okay.
There we go.
They're giving away 7 books and some merch. You know, I love merch, and almost as much as I love books. And then they have panels all day on Saturday, December 19th and Sunday, December 20th. So we've been talking about the panels. Let's talk about the giveaways. Margaret, what are you most excited about in terms of on the giveaway sitch?
Well, I love when, as an indie author, I can make decisions about my own stuff. So basically, we've brought in these authors and they're all running their own giveaways. So what we're going to do on Friday is like plant the seed and probably have like this panel is giving away this, and this is going to be the question they want you to answer in their time period. So it's going to be pretty easy to sign up. It's not like, you know, do this 3 things and walk backwards through that door and, you know, promise your eldest baby, you know, none of that. It's very easy. So we're just trying to get people interested. Pick a panel, say, go to that one if you're interested, and then write your answer. And that's all you need to do. Yes.
What about you, Elizabeth? What giveaways are you most excited about?
I'm giving one away, so I'm pretty excited that I'm giving one away because I love making people happy, and I hope that whoever gets my book is happy. But I'm excited because even though she's on my panel, like, is it bad that I kind of want to win Kim's book? Am I allowed to do that? I don't know if that's a conflict of interest, but if she doesn't say that it is, I'm certainly going to enter.
You need someone who may live in your household to go on and just, you know, pretend they're you. The companion, it looks amazing. The cover is amazing, and I've read blurbs and I want to read it too. So the companion is so good.
Yay! Yeah. Awesome. And Anissa is saying she cannot wait for this event. It sounds super exciting. Anissa, I could not agree more. Oh, Anissa has just had a fantastic idea for the question of the festival, and I have to say this one is the winner. I'm declaring it. She proposes that what is the worst review that you have ever read?
Ever read of anyone's book?
Anyone?
It could be anything you've ever read of anyone's. It could be of your own. I mean, it could be the worst. How fun is that? Anissa, I like where you're at, girl. This is fantastic.
I have an answer for that one already.
Let's hear it.
Have you ever gone to that website that says like the worst men's writing about women, and there's the one about the purse up the what is it? The peanut gallery of comments that respond to the way this one man wrote about women hiding like a credit card and some cash up her wahoo, and how that is not possible. And like, really, you should have done some more research before you just slip that in. Like you put no. And so the funny responses to that, like, make me like kick and howl. It's so funny, but they're I would say that's the worst.
Wait, where can we find these reviews, Margaret?
Oh, I just saw it on a BookTube video. Her channel is called Amrita by the Book, And she did a recent video on YouTube where she was talking about beauty and men writing about women and how we can sort of wrest back our, you know, our identity and our ideas of beauty. But she led with this men's writing about women website. And I think she linked it in the description. So that was hilarious.
Oh my God, that is fantastic. I love this idea. Margaret and Elizabeth, I'm seconding the motion. I think this is a great conversation, stimulating question. What about you, Elizabeth?
Oh, Amazon has some serious winners. There was one, honestly. So it was about 12 paragraphs long. And it was on Twilight, and it was a man, and he broke it down, starting with the stalking aspect. And it was in a sarcastic tone where honestly, it was 15 times better than the book. And I am a twihard, despite the fact that it is super flawed. And if you try to reread it as an adult, you really, really question your choices. But whatever, I'm fine with admitting it. But reading it, I was like, oh, if I had read this first, I'm pretty sure I never would have read the series. Oh, it was scathing. Oh, if I could ever find it, I would read it for this event because it's
oh my God. Okay, you have to find it. You have to find it. First of all, I've never read Twilight. I've never seen Twilight. I don't even know. Is that about the werewolf and the vampire or something?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I don't know.
There was anybody that hasn't at least seen it. This is exciting. I'm actually kind of excited I've met you.
Oh, you could lead off with those 2 reviews. That would be so fun. You have to do that.
It sounds like we're veering right into like the best worst because they're so bad, they're good. So if that's allowed, Alyssa, then we're good. We're golden.
Or you know how Jimmy Kimmel does the celebrities read the meanest tweets about themselves, and Drew Barrymore reads like, Drew Barrymore has no talent. And then she's like, anyway.
Oh, that's hilarious. I haven't seen that.
Oh my God, it's so funny. They go and they search for themselves, and then they do a dramatic reading of the meanest tweets about them. And it is hilarious. Yeah. And extremely fantastic. So I'm just saying, Anessa, for the win, this is a fantastic idea. Nice. So we have just a few more minutes. So I want to make sure we get to that question. So what do you want people to walk away from this festival, having learned, having experienced, having gained, having felt? Tell us why'd you do this, and what do you want people to get from it?
Do you want to go first, Elizabeth? Sorry, we're like.
So I personally just want people to get excited about small indie authors that they've not heard of before and go away from this buying books of people that they might not have ever heard of, which I know is not a thing that they usually do. In fact, I was just recently informed that you usually just shop. Yeah, it was her. That for the most part, you try to stick with your people, your authors. And it makes sense because, you know, you find an author and as soon as you love them, you're like, when's their next book? I'm here for it. Pre-order, done. But there are a lot of us, guys. There are a ton of us. And, you know, we are not all Stephen King, Charlaine Harris. You know, we're not all there. And that's not our fault. Sometimes we're just not that popular yet. But you're supposed to make us that popular. So we're here to stamp our ground, show you how awesome we are. And that's what I want, is I want these people to read our books and see how wonderful. And it's not just me. These people are great. We have great authors.
And you know what, Elizabeth, you're raising a really important, really great question, which is that which I actually started to think about 20 years ago when I was in college, which is who is determining what authors you should read. So as a communications major, one of the questions, one of the most thought-provoking questions that one of my professors asked me is who's creating the news that you read or the news that you view? Who says this is news and that's not, or this goes at the top of the hour when everybody's watching and this goes at the bottom of the hour when everybody's fallen asleep? Who's making those decisions? It's not that you're getting every tidbit of news in the world. You're getting the tidbits that someone said is going to be of greatest interest to you and to most people. So in that same way, and do you want to be only knowing what people deem is worthy for you to know, or do you want to make that choice? And so in that same way, the publishing funnel is choosing for you who you're going to be seeing on the shelves on when you log on to Amazon on that homepage as suggested reading or sponsored reading, or the Amazon editor picks, or the New York Times bestseller picks, or the New York Times book review pick. Who decides which books you see and which books you don't? And as a person who spent 14 years doing PR marketing, I can tell you that's a PR marketing choice often. It's like, okay, we're going to put our marketing muscle behind this author, and unfortunately not so much this author. So I think what you are doing is creating a more level playing field. So it's not about who the powers that be, whoever they are, have chosen for you. You're saying, here's some great authors that you may never heard of and you're probably going to love.
And hopefully we'll give them a preview, right? So what I would say to what I want people to walk away with is that if you attend a few of these panels and you connect with what people are saying, because we wanted to get people talking about things that are close to their heart, right? So we're in a pandemic, we're in a time and place where people are thinking deeply about things that they maybe took for granted or just hadn't examined assumptions about before. And so this is hopefully where we've had time to go, oh, maybe I want to be more informed about what shows up on my daily page, right? Maybe I want to make decisions before they get to me. So we were trying to get more names discovered. We want to highlight
lots of hearts up from Facebook. Thank you. Oh, tons of hearts. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. We want to highlight people who are basically serious about their craft, who are doing the work to put it out there, and like just give them that extra boost to get to the readers. So that's why we're trying to create this platform and support their work and, you know, talk them up and kind of like the Blaze, right? And foster connection. That's the other thing I want people to walk away with. So readers and writers on Facebook, I've seen connect in beautiful ways, and that's what I want to see in my little silo of a lone writer, right? When we're scribbling away and doing our 30-minute sprints and doing our, you know, daily word counts and tweeting and seeing no one respond. It's like we're in a lonely little silo. Quarantining, hopefully, right? And so this is an opportunity to be talking with other people, getting a spark going, and then also engaging with readers or people who are interested in those same topics and saying, yes, I see you, and now I don't feel as alone.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. And this is saying, I love to find out about authors that I've never heard of. I try to read a new author every month. Oh my God, Anissa, you freaking rock. That is
rock star.
Awesome. Yay. I love that. I love that. That's so well said. And I think the perfect note to end on. So Anissa, I want to thank you for joining us as always. I want to thank you for your thoughtful comments and your absolutely amazing proposed question of the Jolabokaflod 2020, which Sara DiVello is voting for. Co-founders and authors Margaret Pinard, Elizabeth Mitchell, thanks so much for coming on, for telling us about your amazing festival, for all that you do to support indies, to support Pacific Northwest writers, to support, to connect so many of our audience to their next favorite writer that they may not have even heard of. So thank you both for your amazing work, both as authors, as advocates. This is amazing, and I can't wait to watch the festival.
Yay! Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you December 18th, 19th, and 20th.
You there. Right here. And again, that's linked, pinned as the comment. So click on over, choose your sessions now. Awesome. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us.